Thanks for joining me today for episode 89 of Think Big with Michael Zellner. All positive, no politics. My guest today is Kimberly Hill. Kim is the senior managing partner at Hill Johnson and Weinstein and has been a real estate investor with over 25 years in the business. She is a licensed general contractor with over 15 years experience in new construction and renovations. She is the founder of Mink Beauty Incorporated and the owner of Mink Lounge in Memphis. Kim is the author of the book, No Cash, No Credit Real Estate. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Thank you. I see you've done your homework. I like it.
My pleasure. So tell us something interesting about yourself that most people don't know.
I'm a convicted felon.
Okay.
I've been to the big house and not the White House.
So how do you want to elaborate or just some point?
We can talk about it.
Tell me. Yeah, if you're wanting to shoot, you started that, so hey, share it. Sure.
Let's dive into it. So when I first got my license, I got my real estate license at age 19. So I've been doing this for over 30 years. So I started off doing real estate as an agent. And I apologize. I do have a small cough. So if I cough, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. So I had a client that needed a verification. So when you purchase a house and you get a mortgage, you have to verify that you've had 12 months of good rental payments, right? So since I had property, I said, I'll verify that for you. So I wrote a note, faxed it over to the bank, and then they charged me with all this aid in the bed with the bank, trying to take over the bank, mail fraud, wire fraud, you fraud, they fraud, everybody fraud. So I end up getting charged with mail fraud, which I got 5 years probation. So I've been a convicted felon ever since. And here I am.
And so you were trying to help somebody out and then ended up coming back to bite you.
Yeah. But it was a lie though. It wasn't the truth. I knew it was a lie. Yeah. So you know better. But I was 19 years. I was like 20, maybe 20. It was as soon as I got my real estate license.
So, you grew up in Memphis in the Whitehaven area. What are some of the your favorite memories of your childhood years that still, make you smile today?
Oh, me and my friend Carla, she used to be across, she was my neighbor. She lived across the street from me. We used to pretend like we were going on trips, and we would get on our bike. We would pack lunches and we would get on our bikes and we would just go all the way down. We would go up Bonita, go all the way down Rains Road, like we were in California somewhere. Then we would stop and eat our lunch like we were in California. And then and I was an entrepreneur at a very early age.
Really?
Yes. I have two wild stories if you'd like to hear.
Absolutely.
All right, want to hear? Here you go.
Yeah.
So I started being entrepreneur actually from these bike rides. We used to talk all the time, and I told her, what did I say? I can't remember exactly. We would have these conversations like when we would go out of town, but out of town was just like the next street over. So, and I always wanted to work for myself. So the holidays came up, and I cleaned out my dad's carport, like under the carport, there's like a, what do you call this? Like a, what is it? Like a storage room.
Okay.
You have one door. Well, you go in one door, you can come out the other one's like two doors right in front of the cars. You have carport.
Right.
So anyway, I cleaned all that out and made a full-fledged haunted house when I was about 8 years old. And I charged my friends on the street 25 cents to come in. I did. And then I recreated the whole Wizard of Oz in our house. My mom let me do it in the den, and I had the yellow brick road, I had the scarecrow, and I charged 50 cents for people to come and watch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And your parents were really cool with all that, I take it.
They've been supporting me since I was 8 years old.
That's incredible.
I was thinking big.
Absolutely. You definitely were, even at 8, right? You went to college at the University of Memphis and you got your degree, I believe in basic life support communication and public administration. You got your master's in real estate development there too. And you talked about how your real estate interest it started, when you were just 19 years old. If you would share with the audience about how your interest, in real estate was peaked at that time.
So I got married at 19. Can we what can I say and what can I say? What
You can, anything but politics is fine with me.
Okay, we're not. So I met my husband. I fell in love with the cocoa. So I met my husband and we got married at 19. And he lived in an apartment. And he wanted me to live in an apartment. And I said, no, I've never lived in an apartment, so I'm not going to live in an apartment. So he was like, okay, we're going to buy a house. So we bought a house, and this lady shows us this house, and she's taking us around these houses. And we literally were going in people's houses while they was living there, looking at the house. And I was like, oh my God, this is so freaking cool. So when we bought our house, the next month I enrolled in real estate school and got my license.
Wow.
That's how it started. Yep.
Wow. So obviously going around in people's homes and everything, it was something exciting to you.
Super excited because you get this chance to see how other people live.
Sure.
And I remember going into this house off of Cottonwood. You know what Cottonwood is?
Yeah, right.
This man literally had a coffin in his house, a clear coffin of a dead person in his house, sitting up. The coffin was like tall, and he had this person sitting in the coffin just like this inside the house. Oh, we scattered out of there.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Yeah, I probably would have done the exact same thing if I'd seen that for sure.
Yeah.
You said, quote, when you're on your healing journey, you'll be looking at some people and thinking to yourself, how the hell did I deal with you for so long? You'll be amazed at your old hurt self that shows your strength, tenacity, resilience, courage, and all that. So be nice to yourself. You deserve everything your new heart desires. You to ish, unquote. How important has it been to you and your success in real estate and in life to be able to be nice to yourself?
Oh my God. I just started being nice to myself.
Really?
Yes. I was so hard on myself from age 8, like, only like 5 people showed up at the play, or 10 people come. It's like, oh my God, I wanted to. And I was just so, hard on myself. And through Xanax, therapy, tons of therapy, I finally figured out that I don't have to be perfect, and people will meet you where you are on your journey. We're all on a journey, and either you meet me here or you choose not to participate with me, and don't be in my presence. I don't have to be in your presence. And you accept people for who they are, and now I accept myself for who I am. And that's the reason why I'm able to talk about a lot of different things and not hide things anymore. That bad things that you're probably going through, like being a convicted felon or being molested, things like that, that sometimes people will put they'll look at you a different way.
Right.
Look at you a different way. But now, I give 0 fucks now. And that is being nice to myself by giving.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
How's therapy help you?
Oh my God. Therapy, listen, they in the Black community, it's like if you go to therapy, they call you crazy, right? And so I dealt with that a lot because I started therapy a long time ago, because when I was in school, I went to University of Martin before I went to Memphis. I went to Memphis as an adult, but my parents shipped me off to Martin when I was young, when I first graduated, like 17 years old.
Right.
So I took this class called Ethics and Race. And in the class, it was this guy. He was like, I forgot what this term is called, but he was teaching the child not to tell what he had done to the child. And I forgot what they call a fancy word for it, but I forgot what it's called. And when he started saying, I was like, oh my God, that's what my molester did to me. he said that I wasn't gonna get no candy, I wasn't gonna get no bubble gum if I told my parents. So I ended up telling my parents about this at the age of, I guess, 18, when I was in college at the University of UT Martin.
Wow. And therapy, I talk about mental health awareness a lot on my podcast with a lot of different people. I bring it up because I think it's so important these days. I've had therapy on and off since I was, 12 and a half years old. And, one of my psychologists, and I've brought this up before, said people who see therapists are stronger than people that don't. And I
Right.
fully believe that to this
Yeah.
day.
Yes. My kids want to go to therapy, I pay for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it really, and a lot of men today don't think it's macho, but I talk about it a lot because men need to realize that, it's not that you're not cool by going. It has nothing to do with that. It's just you want to make yourself better. You want to be better for you. You want to be better for other people. So if someone feels like they need therapy, I highly recommend it to anyone.
I do too. I absolutely. That's the first thing. People always think I'm joking when I say, wait, do you go to therapy? Like, you need therapy. Because like sometimes like people they need hugs and kisses, but you need therapy more than that. Because you get a chance to sit there and talk about things that happen where a person won't judge you.
Right.
And they're helping. Hey, I went to Lakeside. I went to Lakeside for 17 days in an outpatient program. So I forgot the name of it. It's like a professional outpatient where you go every day from like 8 to 5. And when I went, that's when I learned, how people say, don't sleep till you die. You can't sleep, but you gotta sleep. Sleep is how you function. Because that's when I learned that your brain produces serotonin when you sleep. And if you're not getting sleep, that's what makes you depressed. That's what makes you off and all of this. And I learned how to deal with stuff that was keeping me from not sleeping.
Right.
So now I'm sleeping 8 to 10 hours a day, at the minimum 8.
That's awesome.
I'm a sleeping beauty, honey.
Your career personal portfolio was once estimated at $22 million, and you've managed assets over your career at a whopping 143 million. That's just spectacular. How were you able to accomplish all that?
Being who I am, just meeting people tend to like me. And I met a lot of good people when I first got into real estate. I had 2 clients that I can't say their name, but super duper nice clients that actually went under in 2008 and lost all their real estate. But I met those 2 people. And I remember when I first got that one client, he gave me 400 homes to manage for him.
Wow.
And and I looked at his portfolio, Michael, and I was looking at, his P&L, right? And I was looking at it and I said, what is oh my God, what's the name of the dang, the joke won't be funny anymore. But I was looking at, okay, let's just say it was Chevy. What was it called? I can't remember. But it said Chevy on there, and then it had $3.7 million. And I was like, what in the world? What kind of Chevy does he have for 3? And I Googled it, and it was a boat. It was a yacht.
Wow.
That's when I first started to like, oh my God, I am really working with some big boys, because I just thought it was like an old time antique car or something, but it wasn't a Chevy. I forgot the name of the boat, but it could be a car.
Right.
Yeah.
Quote, cheers to the final stages of healing, where all the people who had access to you but abused the privilege. This is the stage where you, in your most gracious voice, you say, F off. Unquote. Yeah. I found it true myself that along the road to success, we go through failures, and some of the people we know, didn't want to be there when we were down, but they want to show up when you're up, right, and ride those coattails. To be successful and to stay successful, it's important to cut ties with those people, isn't it?
Yes, it's very important. They bring down your spirit, your deals. Listen, I've read a book called The 48 Laws of Power. You heard of it?
I have not.
Yeah, the 48 laws of power. One of the laws states that stay away from the unlucky and the unhappy, because if it's raining where they are and you go over to help them, guess what? You're going to get wet too. So is this person worth you getting wet? Or do you want to stay in the sunshine? I choose the sunshine because I would rather take you and bring you over here where the sun is shining and take you out the rain rather than going to wherever you are and, getting wet, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
So some people, they thrive in negativity, or they thrive in excuses, or they thrive in things not never working out in their favor. They're
Drama.
always the victim, always
Right.
the victim. I'm never a victim. It's always a lesson. I don't care what it is. I lost $1,700 to a nut buck, like a guy who I dated, and I just look at it like it was $1,700 for that lesson. And now I know to don't overlook red flags anymore,
Right.
So everything, you're always learning. So you take that and you either use it or you don't.
It's that trust your gut. We all have those instincts with people. And I had to cut ties in the last few years with someone who I've known for 25 years. And
Wow.
I'll always love the guy from afar, but I
Mhm.
just had to cut the ties with them completely because it just was not good for me in my whole lifestyle. I was like, no, I just had to do it. And, sometimes it's very difficult if you have a big heart, but you
Yeah.
have to take care of yourself first.
Yes, I always take care of yourself first, because if you're not here, then you can't take care of them anyways.
Very true.
Right.
You said, quote, real estate investing is really an art. And like any art, it takes time to master the art of real estate investing, unquote. What do those words, real estate investing is an art, mean to you, Kim?
Oh, when did I write that?
Oh, it's like in the last couple of years.
Okay. What was I talking about? Real estate is an art, right? Is
Right.
that what I said?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Let me see what I was saying.
That's okay. And sometimes I'll ask something that'll sort of put people on the spot a little bit, trying to have to remember something they said.
That's okay. But real estate, anything is an art, because you look at it in a different way, and it means different things to you. Because
Right.
real estate means to me like real estate means to me like I can have this lifestyle that I have.
Right.
The secret is I don't like real estate, but it's easy and it comes second nature to me. So I can do it with my eyes closed, and I'm very successful with it. So I don't want to get rid of it. So that's that's my art, I guess. I don't know.
Oh,
But
that makes sense.
yeah. So like in this last deal that I'm doing, I'm gonna, like, this is my retirement project. I'm gonna go do some stuff that I like doing. And I like teaching people and encouraging people and motivating people. I think that's what I was here for. I was put on this earth to do.
Quote, 2017 lemons, 2018 lemonade, 2019 lemonade stand, 2020 lemonade manufacturer. Cheers, my friends, unquote. Fast forward now to 2022. I'd say you probably now you own a big lemonade factory, Kim. What do you think?
I do. I don't mean to knock on wood, but knock, knock.
How does it feel, the progression that you've had over those last 5 years?
It took, therapy, back to therapy. It took me so long to accept my success. I just literally this year, 2022, I literally just started saying that, yes, I am successful. I was like, no, I'm not successful. I don't have a yacht. I don't have, I kept measuring my things to materialistic things, right?
Right.
But when I think success means that you're happy, I am super happy. I don't have to go and clock in, and I don't go to a job. I can work when I want. If I get sick, like I've been sick, I had the flu a couple weeks ago. I've been sick, and then I took my family to New Orleans this past weekend. So I've literally been off about a week, but I still got, I'm sorry, about a month, but I still got paid.
Right.
So, and I learned this from a person. He said to me that if you have to be in your business, you don't have a business. If your business can't run without you, then you don't have a business. And so, and I remember that because with my Mink Lounge with the beauty salons, I was like, I held the key because I didn't want no one else to have the key to the salon. So I was like, I got to go open the door. And when he told me that, I was like, I got to trust somebody, and so I started learning from my therapists, mentors on how to, remove myself from my companies. So now all my companies, they run on their own. I don't have to be there. Like, for instance, I live in Nashville, but my project is in Memphis.
Right.
And so I come down and check on them, but it's still going to go if I'm laying in the bed, sick for a month. They still, the trucks are still going to show up. They're still going to get paid, and it's still going to continue. And to me, that's success because I own myself. Nobody else owns me. Nobody else can tell me to come to work. I don't have to call nobody and say, hey, I need some FMLA. Like, what the hell is that? I just
Right.
learned this. But and see, to me, it sounds like when I used to say stuff like that, it sounds like bragging, and I didn't want to brag on myself. But now I will. And also, you know what else? I would turn the comments off on Facebook when people started saying congratulations too much. When they get to like 50 congratulations, it's like, okay, I'm done. I'm over with. I'm turning off the comments. I hated for people to say that. Can you believe that?
It's the people there. It happens. It does.
Because I felt shame. I felt like I didn't want to rub this in nobody's face because everybody is not here. And I felt I didn't want to shine. I didn't want to. Even for my birthday, the dress that I wanted for my birthday, the lady was like, why are you getting that for your 50th birthday? And I was like, I just want something plain. I'm just a plain girl, just plain Jane. I just need something, really nice, fitted. She's like, this is your 50th birthday. Why do you want to be dressed like your guests? You got to be fabulous. And I was like, okay. So then I wore a see-through dress on my birthday.
Wow. You brought up such a good point there. If you have to be in your business, you really, and I go back to like me, I owned a mattress store here for several years called Sleepy Z's. And when I got sick in 2018, I got blood clot and pulmonary embolisms, almost died. And then it knocked me out mentally and emotionally, where about less than a year later, I had to close the store. I used to be in my store 6 days a week. I had salespeople that worked for me. I had good people that worked for me. But without me being there, I was the face of the business. I had branded it so much with me being the face of the business. When I wasn't there, it couldn't sustain it. So that brings that just brought up a good point to me, right? So the model worked as far as branding, but it didn't work as far as I didn't give enough other people enough responsibilities to be able to handle it when I wasn't there.
Right. And that's what I teach. That's what I want to teach people, how to get out of your business.
Right.
Because if you would have had that store, then opening up another store, then you go and open up another store, then another one, then on to the manufacturer,
Right.
So that's the ultimate goal for me, always to be able to franchise or to open more, to do more with me at home, drinking martinis. That's the ultimate goal.
I like that.
I got to grab my charger because I didn't know that my computer.
You're fine. Take your time. You're good.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
At the charger. Oops. Oh, Lord. What's this? Okay. Hold on, Mike. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I feel so unprofessional.
It's not a big deal. I've had people that had to go let their dogs in and out sometimes or tend to a child. It's okay.
All right. And then I'm in this hotel, but now we're hooked up here. There we go.
Okay. You know, you were a co-developer of our Kirby Pines 144 unit multifamily LIHTC apartment complex in Memphis, you know, a 10 million new build division and subdivision in East Tennessee. You know, how have you developed yourself over the years from starting off purchasing and renovating rental homes back in the early 2000s to being smack dab in the middle of some major developments here in the Mid-South? How have you done that?
Honestly, I just got tired of making $20,000 checks. I didn't want any more $20,000 checks. I got tired of them. Like, I mean, it sounds cocky maybe, but I was so tired of making $20,000, $30,000, even $60,000, like on one deal. I wanted a check with a comma. You know, I wanted a comma check. And so, like, how do you do that? How do I make $1 million? How do I make $1 million off of one deal? I started researching, and I seeing these people build these hotels. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to build a hotel. So I just started putting my, going to conferences, going to meetings that they have around here. I started listening to JP Morgan Chase. They have an open dialogue quarterly about their monthly, budgets and stuff like that. I started listening to Marriott conferences because they have them for their investors, but it's open to the public as well. And I just started listening to them. It's like, I can do this. I can do this. And I just started meeting people.
Yeah, it's all about making those connections with people and, marketing yourself and getting your name out there, isn't it?
Yep. That's what it's about.
You said, quote, "Thank you guys for all the accolades. Facebook is where I get celebrated for my wins the most, so I love sharing them with you. You know, they say strangers will celebrate you more than friends and family, and unfortunately, this is so true. If she build her own table was a person, I'd say that pretty often that, people that, people that we know, they don't root us on sometimes as much as people, that we don't know. People that we know are just sometimes not, giving us that support as much as you would think that is sometimes, why do you think that is?
Why do I think that
people that we know don't give us as much support sometimes than people that we don't know? That people that we don't know sometimes root us on a little bit more.
So I'm just going to think about my family. I think that I have been doing so much. I told you I started being an entrepreneur when I was 8. So I think that I've been doing so much. It's just like, this Kim just being Kim, doing another thing, and I had got so used to them not supporting me. My last deal, when I went to court to get the approval for, to build this project, I didn't even tell my parents. I didn't tell my children. I just was going to court by myself. You have to go to court 3 different times, right?
Right.
And I didn't tell them. And I was like, why am I keeping this from people? And when I told them, guess what? They all showed up. So with that was a closed mouth does not get fed. You have to ask, like, Mom, are you going to support me in this? Dad, are you going to support me? Friend, are you going to support me and not ask me for a discount? Or, are you, and they did. And it made me cry. Aww. I couldn't believe that they showed up. And they showed up, they was dressed up. You seen a picture on my Facebook. I was like, oh my God. Even my aunt, like people, they was like, no, why you didn't tell me? I would have came too. And then when I had my 50th birthday party, I had it in Nashville. I rented this small place because I'm like, people are not gonna come and celebrate me. They can say congratulations on Facebook, but to get in the car, drive 3 hours or take a flight to come to Nashville, pay for a hotel to celebrate my 50th birthday party, they're not gonna do that. I sent out 100 invitations. I had 97 people at my birthday party.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
And I had to cut the list. I had over 100 people to RSVP, but then when it got down to it, people started, canceling. And then I forgot some more people. And I was like, I didn't think that you were going to come. That was the best day of my life. Not the dress, not the cake, not the champagne. I couldn't believe that 88 people from Memphis, the other people were from Nashville. 88 people, that's almost 100 people came to Nashville. And you know how expensive it is in Nashville?
A lot more expensive than Memphis.
Yes, and the hotels were like $400 a night, and they stayed 2 nights.
Wow.
They came and supported me and brought me a gift.
That is awesome.
Like, oh my God, I can't believe these people like me. I was the name. So you have to ask. You have to ask for the support instead of assuming that they know that you are doing a podcast. They know you see me on Facebook. Why you don't support my podcast? Why you don't like it? Like some people just don't know. You got to ask. You got to think big.
That's good. That's a very good point. I talk about all the time how if you're not rooting for your friends' successes and you don't celebrate them with them, and you're also not there if they're having a failure, maybe an ear to listen to, then honestly, you're just another person in their life. That's why it's so important for us to be there for the people that care about us the most and then we care about the most, because, life is short.
Right. Too short.
Very short. Yep. You're a mentor for men and women incarcerated, an advocate for women and children's rights, an organizer, convicted felon job fair, and a board member, Promise Development for the Homeless. Why are you so giving of yourself to so many people?
I just love your research.
Thank you.
Make me go, ooh. This is my first time on a podcast. So I like the fact you said quote unquote. I feel so important. Okay.
Well, you are.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
What was the question?
Why you give so much of yourself to, the people that have a lot less than you?
Well, at first it was because I was putting people before me. So I wanted to give, and I never got back. And so I got so empty, and that's where that therapy comes into play, because you're always giving. And I loved it. And it's a feeling that you can't even explain. I'm sorry, my phone's ringing. It's a feeling that you can't explain when you do something for someone that can't do anything for you.
True.
Like when I was saying about the sun shining, like I'm going to have my sun shining and I'm going to share it with you. Like I'm not going to try to dim your light. We can share, we can be together. And that's what makes me feel good. Now it makes me feel better about myself. At first, when I was doing it like for a rush, like, because if I'm depressed, I felt like, okay, I'm depressed, let me go play with the little kids. But now I really do it to make myself feel good and to make them feel good, so.
That's good. That's great. You said, quote, when you have your lows, always expect a high right after. It's how the universe works, unquote. The universe is a funny thing. And it's amazing how when we put positive vibes and thoughts out there, that good things come back to us. There's always going to be ebbs and flows, aren't there?
Yeah, it is. And I learned that from another mentor, because I was like, dang, he said, when you have a low, what's the opposite of low? High, right? Okay. So when he said that, I was like, wow. And then I started noticing it. Like if I had a bad day today, then I'm gonna have a good day tomorrow, or something bad happens on, that particular day or something, then something good will happen right behind it. Like if you lose $50, then later on that evening, you might get a call from someone and say, hey, you want to have dinner? I'll treat you, So it's like what you put into the universe, you get back. But he taught me that when I have those lows, to expect the highs, not become a victim and start complaining and let it rain all over you. You got to just think positive. And like I said, everything that happens to me now is always a lesson. It's never a loss. I'm never a victim. It's always a lesson for me.
And that's important. That victim mentality is just, it's really harmful to people that have that mentality.
Woo, so bad. So bad.
And I know because years ago, 15, 20 years ago, for a while I did, I had it. And then I finally figured out if it's going to be, it's up to me. It's
Yep.
not anybody else. No one's, like we've heard before, no one's going to save you. You have to save
Yeah.
yourself.
I was just gonna say that because Superman didn't come and save you. You had to save yourself. You got to save yourself.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Virginia Woolf said, quote, one cannot think well, love well, sleep well if one has not dined well, unquote. That is one of your favorite quotes. I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah.
What is it about that quote that you like so much?
The dine well part. I am a true foodie. I love food. I absolutely love food. I have a whole relationship with food. Food is my friend. I love food. Dude. And you know what happened last week? I got high blood pressure last week. Oh my God, so sad. Oh, but I did it to myself. So now I have to change my food. I have to change things that I'm eating, lose 20 pounds, and then I can get off the blood pressure pills. They just gave you the pills and wish you on your way.
Right.
So again, you have to do research for stuff. You just can't accept, oh, this is, I'm sorry, I was telling that to somebody else, but I was telling somebody else that you can't assume something just because I'm Black, just because I'm a woman, just because I live here. You cannot assume that. And if I tell you something, like, don't reject it, go and research it for yourself. Like, as in church, like if the preacher is telling you something, don't, think that it's true. You go and research it for yourself. So when she gave me the pill, she was like, hey, yeah, good luck. So I'm researching blood pressure, like, what can I do to turn this thing around? So I've hired a nutritionist, I've hired a trainer. I'm getting, when I get back to Nashville, I'm gonna throw out all my junk food, all the stuff I've been eating, and try to, and eat differently and change my palate. I'm still gonna dine well because food is my friend.
Yep. I know exactly where you're coming from. I mean, I worked really hard, and in one year from March 29th, 2021 to 2022, I lost 190 pounds.
Woo.
And I did that. But what I did was not sustainable. I was doing 3 to 5 hours of cardio a day. I drank a gallon of water every day. I cut out all carbonated drinks, all fried foods.
Yeah.
And I did it. But then what happens is, because I've never been a big drinker, never done drugs, smoked pot some when I was younger. But food's been the same thing. Food's my friend. And I've
Yeah.
always turned to food during stressful times. So it's very easy. And I've gained back some of my weight, because I went back to some of those old patterns again. So you have to figure out. And then one thing that I'm trying to figure out myself is trying to figure out balance.
Yeah, balance. That's what we need.
Yeah. And it's not easy.
Right. And it's not about a diet, it's a lifestyle. You
Right.
have to make it a lifestyle. So like I gotta change my palate to like not like seasoned things. I love seasoned food. Even my chips, I want my chips seasoned. I want my fruit seasoned. I love that tarjan on the watermelon.
Yeah.
On everything season. So this is definitely going to be a challenge for me, but I'm up for it because I want to be here. I want to be here longer for my grandchildren. I want to be able to purchase their yacht that I want and sail the Mediterranean Sea and, look at Jose and his bikinis.
You're funny. Back in October of 2020, New York Weekly named their top 10 female entrepreneurs of 2020. And number one on the list was Sarah Blakely, who founded the apparel line Spanx. The woman, I actually saw her. I was in a Tony Robbins seminar on Zoom earlier this year, and her husband came on there and gave a talk. She's awesome, worth over $1 billion.
Yes.
Number 7 on that list was a young woman from Memphis named Kimberly Hill. That's so awesome. How did that come about? There you go.
I'm the shit. That's why.
I love your confidence. It's awesome.
Listen, when they emailed me, I was like, is this real? Like, I really thought it was fake. I honestly thought it was fake. And I was like, nah, it's fake. But no, I mean, just like I just got off an interview of a reality show. Like they call me and sometimes I'll talk, sometimes I won't. I do want to get myself more out there because I do want to do mentorships. So, and I have a presence on Facebook and social media, LinkedIn and Instagram and stuff like that. So people see me, and then when I get to talk, I'm like, oh my God, I just love you. Like, want to pinch my jaws. Yeah. So I was proud of that. I have that. I have that on my wall at home.
And you should be really proud of that. That's great. One of Michael Jordan's famous quotes is about how he failed and failed and failed, and that's why he succeeded. Talks about missing over 9,000 shots in his career and how many game-winning shots he missed. You said, quote, "You got to know how it feels to lose to know how it feels to win," unquote. That is the only way to truly appreciate success, isn't it?
Yep, it is. When you lose, because like I say, these lessons, the lessons that you learn are not free.
Right.
So, right, when you learn the lesson, like I told you, my $1,700 lesson was not free. It cost me $1,700. So now, if somebody gives me $1,700 or I earn $1,700, I know how it feels. It feels way better than losing that $1,700.
Right.
So, and I wouldn't have that feeling had I not lost my 1,700.
Right.
So you have to know how to accept yes, because I used to be afraid of no. I mean, I'm sorry, you have to know how to accept the no's. I used
Right.
to be super afraid of people of being rejected. People saying no to you. Even if I just wanted to ask my mom to keep my kids, I didn't want her to say no. I hated the word no. I was like literally afraid. If I just thought in my head, made up this whole story that Mike is gonna say no to me. Like I said, hey, when you gonna have this black girl on your podcast?
Right.
I would have never said that, before, because I was like, he's not gonna, put me on there because I'm black, I'm ghetto, I'm this, But now I don't think that. I just, I don't even know what I was going with this, but
That's
yeah.
what you just used to not the word no doesn't, you're not stopped
Oh
by
yeah.
that anymore.
Yeah. I'm not stopped by no anymore. It used to be a big hindrance because I wouldn't approach anyone, if I thought that they were gonna say no. But you got to get 99. All you need is one yes, right?
Right.
You don't need two yeses. You just need one yes. So you got to get 99. You get 99 no's. That 100 might be the yes. So you don't stop. You keep going until you get yes. You just keep knocking on the door. Hey, it's me again. It's me again. It's me again. Like
That's
this
right.
$22 million that I'm trying to get. A lot of banks said no, but then I got one bank to say yes. He's not giving me 2 million. He's not giving me 3 million. He's giving me all of it, $22 million.
Wow.
So I just needed that one. I don't need two, just need one.
Right. That's exactly right.
Mhm.
You said, quote, "It's not too many people that you don't talk to often, but can still call up and ask for $1,000. I can call this man and he is there and vice versa. That's the type of friendship we have. I am grateful. It was an honor and privilege to help you celebrate your 50 plus plus. You did that. Happy birthday, Kevin," unquote.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Kevin and that special friendship that you guys obviously have.
Oh, that was so nice. Oh, Michael, that made me cry because I'm a crybaby too. Did you see that when I said I'm a gangster and I'm a crybaby? I would cry in a heartbeat. But that was so special. He was one of the ones that came to my Nashville party, and he said, "Kim, that was so nice. That was so nice." He's like, "I'm gonna do a party." He said, "I missed my 50th party because of COVID." He said, "I'm gonna do a 50 plus plus." So he did it, and when I got there, this is my friend. He told us that he told us that he had cancer, and he had been dealing with cancer and nobody knew. And he had all these pictures with all the stuff at the hospital. I was like, wow. He never shared that with me, but me and Kevin went to Fairleigh, and he grew up in Whitehaven. And I don't know how we met, but we've been knowing each other for a very, very, very long time. And he went to jail, and he is a convicted felon. And now he has hot wing. His wing place is what's the name of it? You see, I don't have a good memory. Rayford Wings and Things. Rayford All in One Wings. Yeah, I think that's what it is. But he has these, wing places all over Memphis now, and he's doing exceptionally well. And we have in common that we're both convicted felons. So we go back, he goes back to the prisons as well and help those prisoners. And he also were hired. Like if I know someone that needs a job that just came home from jail, he'll hire them. He talks to them, he mentors them.
Right.
He's just a all around great person. Those are the people that you have to surround yourself with, because sometimes you'll forget that you can fly, and you need people to remind you that you can fly, that you have those wings that you was using just last week. Sometimes people have a pity party with you. You don't want that. And Kevin's not like that. He's not like that. If I need a little motivation, I can call Kevin. He needs motivation, he can call me, so. And I was so happy to help him celebrate that 50 plus. I was screaming. You see the video, I was just yelling, just like, oh my God, yes, Kevin. I was just so happy about that.
You wrote a letter to your younger self on your 50th birthday. I want to read one of the things you said in that letter that I love. Quote, "You've been lied on, stole from, cheated on, and you still rose. It's the resilience in you. I can't fathom the thought of you taking on everyone else's problems and thinking that behavior was normal. You took brick after brick thrown at you and built an empire, even as you bled heavily from the trauma of those bricks. It's the strength in you," unquote. It sounds like to me, Kim, that you've been in a heavyweight championship title fight, taking a lot of punches and getting knocked down in the ring, pretty much, a big part of your life, but you've always gotten back up, and, kept going till the final bell of each round, and no matter what, haven't you?
A lot. And see, that's what I was saying about the mental health and the therapy, because like I said, I thought that was normal that people do things like that. And so you do have those pity parties or hanging around people with victim statements, victim impact statements,
Right.
or, hanging around people who just uses excuses after excuses, or, that's just not trying to travel the same road that you are on. I thought that was normal, and I felt like that I was the black sheep, because although I was hanging with them, I didn't feel right. I didn't like it. It didn't feel good to me, but I just thought that this is how it is. This is normal. And that's why I was so adamant about getting out of Nashville. It's like, it's gotta be more. It's gotta be more. But really, it's not. I could move to California, Timbuktu. I'm still gonna be the same person. So it wasn't the location, it was in me. It was that strength was in me to be able to start speaking up about things that's not right. For instance, like somebody molested me and that's not right, and they need to go to jail, instead of just being quiet and not talking about it. Like my family, wanted me not to talk about that, because that's going to cause some strange conversations at Thanksgiving,
Right.
So eventually all I can say is just thank God for therapy.
Absolutely. I feel the exact same way.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah. So I took a lot of different beatings and a lot of different brick throwing from a lot of different people, and professionally too, not just from family,
Right.
professionally too. So, and those things, they teach you, they mold you, and you learn from them. Because I definitely learned a lot from a lot of different people. Even if they didn't like me, I still learned the lesson from it. Back then, it was harsh and it hurt and it make you cry, make you want to shoot somebody. But eventually you come to terms that it's not you, it's them.
Right.
So, and one of my colleagues told me yesterday about, because I own rooming houses too.
Right.
So she said, I said, she asked me about going to a certain part of town in Memphis. I said, no, I don't want to do that. And then I said, how do you deal with those people like that? Because the people, when I say those people who are those people that come up with excuses, they're not working, and they have their victim impact statements just waiting for you to say anything. I mean, you could say, hey, how you doing? Well, you know, my elbow hurting and my knee hurting and my ear hurt, and I got 19 pills. Like, I don't know. I couldn't deal with that every single day because I'm like, I'm a happy-go-lucky person. Like, and then you want to feel empathy for a person, right?
Yep.
You don't want to be like, oh, shut up. You know, you want to feel something and hear them, but not every day. And then sometimes you have people that respond with, I lost my job and I can't pay. And, you know, can you help me? Can you help me? And then when you say no, then they want to curse you out or beat you up because they lost their job. So she said now she responds with love. And I was like, how do you do that? You know, she said that she just, you know, like if they curse her, and then she was like, I'm sorry that you feel that way. You know, I really was trying to help you genuinely but there's nothing else that I can do, but I can help you do something else. I mean, help you find somewhere else to go. Or she said that's what she does. And she was calling that she respond in love. Because me, if you call me a bitch, I'm gonna call you a bigger bitch. You're a bigger bitch.
Probably a little bit louder than that, though.
Right. Listen, those people get so angry. They get so angry when they can't pay their rent. They're not angry at you. It's just you're there and you're right. The punching bag. Yep. They angry because they lost their job or whatever. Like sometimes, even in my salon, I remember that I did teach my employees this to like, most of the time that women come in there, they want to come with their fabulous wigs and they want to, you know, look pretty and they want to get a fabulous wig and lashes. And sometimes they come in angry because they don't feel good about themselves. So we were there to help them feel good. So in the beginning, they're not going to feel good. So we needed to respond with love or, you know, embrace them and hug them. This was pre-COVID when you can hug people. Right. So
I still hug people. I gotta hug people. Yeah, I still hug people and high five and stuff like that. I'm fine with it. Like life is just going to go on. It has to, you know, it's just going to be that way. You know, you said, quote, self-made, literally, no inheritance, no sugar daddy, no siblings, no grants, no pardon, just her hard work, a few Xanax and a river of tears. So in this day, you're either with me or against me. Ain't no in between, unquote. Right. You know, you've built your business, you know, all by yourself. Hasn't, you know, that made the successes that you've had mean even more, knowing that it was you that made it happen?
Absolutely. But again, I didn't start to realize what I have done or see my strength until this year. Until I started saying like all those things that you're saying right now, all those quotes and stuff, that's from this year.
Right.
Because that's when I really found myself. And that's why I call this Kimmy Blanco, because I want to take on this alter ego, because Kim Hill, what I used to be, I'm not that person anymore. Now I am literally going to say either you like me or you don't. Then you either pregnant or you're not pregnant. You can't be a little bit pregnant, right? So you like me or you don't like me. And if you don't like me, it's okay. Right. I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna cry. It's okay. You can go over there. We can say hi. It's okay. But you can't be in my circle pretending like you like me and you really don't. You know, so that's what that really meant to me.
You know, when you talk about how a lot of that stuff was this year, you know, because I went back, you know, in a lot of your online social media stuff several years, but you're right. Most of those quotes were from this year. And now I understand why. Because you've explained it exactly why, because of your transformation.
Yeah. And it's been so great. And I just thank God. Even with my parents, I was so angry with my mom for a long time because I felt like she treated my brother better. And I was like, but that's all she had. And I didn't realize that. You know, I didn't realize that until third and then growing. And then when I went to Nashville, I don't know anyone in Nashville. I know a few people, but like to hang out with people and go, I've been isolated out there for so long and I couldn't do nothing but forced to look at myself. And I go to therapy every week, every Wednesday. Yep, there's my therapy. Even if I have an issue, then I add my second therapist on. I have a real not a real therapist, both of them are therapists, but like my main therapist that I go to once a month, but then I have my other one that I talk to weekly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Quote, Hill Johnson and Weinstein Real Estate is an experienced developer of affordable and market rate multi-house family housing utilizing all the above sources of funds to create quality, affordable, and market rate housing opportunities for residents and their communities. We are creative in our ability to assemble the appropriate debt and equity sources for development in a given area, unquote. You've had this big real estate company, now for almost 20 years, Kim. The commercial real estate industry in Memphis and probably in most places has been monopolized by, white men for the most part for many years. What has it been like for you to have, to accomplish everything you've done, in this industry as a Black woman?
Well, I had to get me a white sugar daddy to make that happen. No, I'm just I tried, but I was successful with that. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But so in Promise Development, that was my first time really meeting some real developers because I was the interim director for a few months because we had let Cornelius go. He had did some things, and so we had let him go. And I'm using his name because he's not a good person anymore. So, but anyways, I was the interim director, and I got a chance to talk to Mr. Belts and be in those meetings. And and it was nothing but white guys around, like you said. And so I would hear them talking and I was just sitting there like, like feeling like I was invisible with my shades on. Like, cause I was like, I know they're not gonna talk to me. They're not gonna talk to me. But then they did talk to me. And that's when I kind of started coming out my shell because I was coming from Promise Development as the leader of this company. And then I had to be able to present something to them because we were building TM Henderson, the development over there off of Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Those 10 houses over there that we did. So that was my first kind of experience with, a group of white men. But then after that, I think I kind of grew up a little bit after that in reference to like being in their presence, because early on I was afraid to be in, any white person because it wasn't normal,
Right.
for us to, even because in Whitehaven, when you go to the bank, it's not a white person, it's a Black person, so you really, and I went to school with Black people. So it's almost like this white person is an alien. Like if I say shut the door, they're not going to understand it. It's just, right. You was thinking that we were on two different levels, but it's really not. It's regular people. White people are regular people, Black people are regular people. It's just regular people. And when I got that concept, then everything else just falls in place. Like now my whole team is white, my bankers are white, everybody is white. And it's like, and I talk to them like I talk to my kids. I say ghetto shit to them too. And they just crack up laughing. My CFO, he's like 79 years old, and I would say something so funny. Like I say, no, my sugar daddy didn't give me that kind of money. And he's laughing so hard. He's a Navy SEAL, right? And he doesn't have a sense of humor, but when I say stuff, he just dies laughing. And I just enjoy, I enjoy working with all people, but it just so happened that I have these relationships with a lot of different white people. And I don't think it's because they're more resourceful. I think it's because I think they're more engulfed in their craft, if I will. Because so I've been using, if you want to talk about, did we talk about this? Is this against the rules to talk about this? Right.
No, we're okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, I've dealt with a lot of contractors in my life. And in the beginning, I was all pro-Black and I want black contractors, and I want to use a black floor person. I want a black this, a black, black. So, but then I started finding out that those wouldn't like that wasn't a good choice for my business. It's a good choice for humanity, but not for my business, because those people were not doing great jobs. They didn't show up. They were late, didn't take their craft serious. I don't care the color of the person. If the person is taking their craft seriously, they have a real business. They're not, not using social media as the office front, in which that is fine too. But you have to be serious about your business. And what I've learned with the contracting is that a lot of Blacks, they want to have they want you to pay up front. This is where it gets very, very cloudy, because when you do contract work, you do the work and then you bill me and then I pay you. And if I don't pay you, then you file a mechanical lien. But sometimes you may have to pay 10% or even 20%, and that's okay. But in the Black community, it's like we were taught to ask for 50% up front, or can you buy the materials? And if you got to do all that, then you can't afford to be a contractor, because whatever your bank account says, and this is how you get your contractor's license, and this is the limit, is whatever's in your banks. That's what your limit is. And that's what it should be, because if I ask you to, install carpet, you need to go buy the carpet, you need to have the labor, and when you're done, then I'm going to pay you. Right. Simple as that. And we don't do that. So I didn't seek out white people for my company or for my contracting. I just seeked out good people. And when I started finding the good people, they just start sticking with me, and this is how it ended up. And people have called me prejudiced. And I was like, you might be right. You might be right, because I'm prejudiced against my business, because I want my business to be good. And even when like people try to, when my Meek Lounge, they wanted me to be in the Black, what is it called? Some Black association thing. Mm-hmm. And I declined. And I was like, I don't want to be in a box, and I don't want people to use me because I'm Black. I want you to come to Meek Lounge because this is a great place to come. We do great work and we have great customer service. And it's like a Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get Chick-fil-A service at Meek Lounge. You're not going to get McDonald's, So I don't look at that as color, because McDonald's is McDonald's and Chick-fil-A is Chick-fil-A. So I don't want to be a Black business. I want to be a good business that provides a good service. And I'm just so happen to be Black,
Right. So, exactly, about a year ago at this time was probably one of the most exciting, times in your career, your life and career. In my opinion, it pretty much came full circle for you. On November 17th, 2021, you said, quote, "Good morning, y'all. Yesterday, when I walked from the podium after 15 minutes of grilling from a group of Black people opposing my project, we got 13 yes votes from all of the council. I saw my children's faces walking back. That's when I knew I was their superhero, and the generation curse was broke and generational wealth has just started. Thank you, God. Still in disbelief this morning. $12.4 million project that I will be the owner of. Reread that. I can't believe I just typed it," unquote. Tell us a little bit about this, amazing project that you have going on in the area where, pretty much where you grew up in Whitehaven, and what you're doing for the community and the people there.
So now that project is now $22 million. It was 12 a year ago. It was 12.
Yeah. When you said that, I figured that's what you probably are going to talk to me about. Yeah.
But you said we can't talk politics, so go figure. It was 12 last year, and now It's 22. So, and that's the same time I asked my parents and my children to come. Remember, I told them I was going by myself, and that was the last time. That was the last time they got a chance to go and see the people vote for me. And that feeling coming back when they said yes and they hit the thing, they hit the gavel, I was like, I couldn't believe it. And then my grandbaby, she was like, "Yeah, honey." She calls me honey. She was like, "Yeah, honey." And then we was like dancing. It was just so amazing. But that project has taken turns and leaps and hoops, but we are still on course to break ground for next year. It is on Horn Lake. It's going to be 87 townhomes. And I designed it like Lionsgate. I
Mm-hmm.
lived in Lionsgate for 17 years. So you go through a gate, and a lot of people, when we were little, living in Whitehaven, you always passed there. You was like, "Oh, I want to go in there. The rich people live in there," because you didn't know who was over there, because it's like, it's exclusive. So I wanted to do that again in a modern way for people, for single women that can afford it. And you don't have to go to Germantown. You don't have to go to Cordova, Lakeland. You can have that type of community right here in Whitehaven, just like Lionsgate. So that's my project. That's my baby. That's the retirement project. That's the one that I'm going to keep and get the residuals off of it. So we're on course to get $90,000 cash flow monthly. Let me say it again.
Wow. Wow.
$90,000 monthly.
That's great. Good for you. Good for
Listen,
you.
it's been an uphill battle. It's still a battle. And every single day I go to Indeed. It's like, okay, am I gonna get a job today?
The ebbs and flows we talked about, it's going to have it, but you
Yeah,
obviously being on course is the main point.
yeah, ups and downs. I think Indeed gives me motivation, because when I go, I'm like, hell no, I'm not gonna go to nobody's job. I get a sugar daddy for real before I go get a job. Michael, you want to be my sugar daddy? Give me my sugar daddy.
You're a trip. Quote, rolling deep. We had a time in New Orleans, y'all. I was so grateful that my parents chose to take this trip with us. They even wanted to start this as a tradition. My picture game was off because I chose to be in the moment with my family. But what I did capture were moments I will cherish. My parents are 73 and 76, and we were walking on Bourbon Street, y'all. Man, we had a good time. Unquote. Mom and dad, they still live in Whitehaven, off of Neely Road, I believe, Red. And like I was talking about, coming full circle here for you with what you're doing now. It's just amazing. Tell us a little bit more about your parents and the influence they've had on your life.
My mom is a feisty thing. She's like a chihuahua. We call her Miss Sassy. That's Miss Sassy. So both my parents are retired. My mom retired from being retired. She retired from being a housewife. Yeah, that's right. So I can't tell you what she did. Oh, she worked at the Internal Revenue Service for a little while. So, but my mom, I've been researching my family because I wanted to know where I got this entrepreneur spirit from. And I got it from my grandmother, which is my mom's mom, and my great grandmother. They both had companies, and my great grandmother was she was a Cherokee Indian. And now I'm actually in the process of trying to change my race to Native American.
Interesting.
I know, right? Because don't I like an Indian a little bit? I know this some Indian hair.
Tell us about what about your dad?
Okay, my dad was a truck driver. My dad was a truck driver for 30 years or 35 years, and he's retired now. And he's a funny guy. He's so funny. You see him on his video. Yeah. What's up? He's so funny, and he loves big booty women. I think that's what he lives for.
Interesting. You have two daughters, I believe, and they were also raised in Whitehaven, just like you were. You talked about you have a grandchild. You have just
Yep.
one.
I have one. Yep, she's 9 years old. She's Candace's daughter. Candace is 30, and Christian, my other daughter, is 26. And yeah, they grew up in Lionsgate because I purchased a house over there. So, yep, that's my family.
Tell us a little bit about the girls.
The girls are the girls. The girls do not want to do real estate. And I can't figure that out for the life of me, but they want to spend real estate money. They do. They don't want to do real estate. I cannot get them to come and do real estate. They'll sell that. They will say, "Okay, mom, we're going to help you," and then they'll start doing it and do a great job. And then 2 weeks later, like, wait, why you not at work? What's going on? Oh yeah, I was going to tell you that I'm so and so, so and so. Oh my God, not again. Like they have quit real estate about 50 times. I fired my mom. My mom been fired. She won't quit. She gets fired. She's been fired about 10 times.
You probably laugh when you do it now.
My dad, he's a volunteer worker. He'll just volunteer.
That's nice. It helps to keep them young just to be able to continue to do stuff like that. I bet Bourbon Street was a lot of fun.
So much fun. Oh, Mike, we had so much fun. We rode the train down there. Yeah, so we had a lot of fun. They wanted to do it again. I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
What are the most important lessons that you've learned in life?
Important lessons that I learned in life. Important lessons. Ooh. Oh man. So many. Cause my mind goes straight to business first.
Sure.
Like one lesson is that like you gotta have a mentor. Like you need to spend that money for a mentor because like people will save you time, money, energy, and protect you from things that you know nothing about. So I have to get if I want to do a development, I gotta get a mentor to do development, So and I didn't think that at first. I thought it was a scam,
Right.
Yeah. So that was that's one thing that I've learned. And I learned to just meet people where they are on their life journey, like accept people for who they are and where they are in life. Either you accept it or you don't, and that's important because you can't make a person be something else. You can't hope that a person would be something else. You gotta meet that person where they are. And that's important because I want people to meet me where I am. And I wish people would have met me where I am when I was, in a dark place not a long time ago, but, just years ago, smiling because people will fake, they fake being happy, but they don't fake being depressed. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
They fake, yeah, because you can fake being happy, but you are depressed. Like, hey, yes, I'm okay, smiling, but you're hurting inside, and you don't want to tell anyone because you're so embarrassed about this and that. So if people would meet people where they are, then you wouldn't be embarrassed to tell me because I'm going to welcome you, and help you. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's important too, to help people. And don't. Oh, another thing too is I used to get upset with people will call me only when they need something. It's like, why you always call me when you need something? But then when I talk about that sunshine, now I know when you're in the dark, you call me because I'm shining and you want some of my light. And I don't mind sharing my light on you while you dimming, but you won't steal my shine because I'm not going to let you take all my shine from me. And then where I'm going to get my shine back from,
Right.
Because once your cup is empty, you got to have something else to fill it back up, and I don't mind sharing my energy, time, money with other people. But then when I get empty, I got to figure a way to fill it back up, so I don't get mad anymore when people call me when they only call me when they need something. I can say no because I have the courage and I have the privilege and I have the strength now to say, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not messing up what God is doing in your life right now.
Right. Kim, how can people find you and follow you and all the great things that you're doing in residential and commercial real estate on social media?
Okay, so I have a website coming out soon. It's going to be kimmymarche.com. That's where I'm going to be teaching all my lovely skills that I've learned. And my social media is Kimmy Blanco, which I'm probably going to change back to Kimmy Marche at some point because Blanco was my alter ego.
Right.
So, but Kimmy Marche on all social medias and LinkedIn. What is it? Kimberly Hill. Yep.
What you're doing now with, this $22 million development in Whitehaven is just the beginning, for big things that are going to come for you. I know you say you want to retire, but I honestly don't see you retiring because I know you think big and you're going to continue to want to do more. And you've had a lot of ups and downs throughout your life and career, but to me, you're like an Energizer bunny. You just keep going and going and going. And, I look forward to seeing the project when it's complete and can't wait to hear, all the great things that are to come from here. I really appreciate you coming on today, Kim.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. I didn't bogart my way on here. You invited me, right?
Yes, I invited you.
Okay.
Thanks for joining me today.
Okay. Thank you so
You
much.
take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.